Oh, wow. Sorry. We gotta get this over here. Over here. Alright. Yeah, that sucks. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought I had my mic set, but I didn't. So, welcome. How's everybody doing? My name is Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another morning watchlist building session. We are going to find some stocks and options today that are going to make a higher than expected move. We're going to be using the Smart Money, Dark Pool, and Block Trade software provided by FlowTrade to find those stocks. And if this is the first time joining the stream, welcome. Give me a second. I got to finish getting set up, and we'll jump right into it. I moved everything over here yesterday. I got to move it back over here today, and I will get to it. So I'm not like, hey, look at me. I'm looking the other way. Lame. Not doing it anymore. So, all right. Just got to check in on the chat, make sure that's working. And let's see what we got here. Doesn't look like we have anybody joined yet, and we will view it on the live control room. Okay, I will be pulling up some news. I'll be pulling up futures, and we will go over some very interesting things. So, let me just get this pulled up. I'll ask while I'm doing this, since you have a free second, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. It really does help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and we all love algos. So, let me just pull this chart up here. I just don't really like how slow toss is in the morning. I literally just fired it up. Maybe that's why. Alright, so with that being said, okay. Let that load for a second. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out. Detach. Come on. You see how slow this is? Like, I've got a pretty beefy machine. It's still laggy AF, which we don't like. Alright, so I'm going to say morning to the chat. Morning chat. Alright. So typically what I found is when toss is this laggy, that means there's going to be some extreme volatility surrounding stocks today, and probably has something to do with just load. Could it? I don't have this problem with Tastyworks. Alright. This is an issue. If you ever have a problem with toss, try to collect the garbage. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes it doesn't help. I'm going to give it another couple seconds, and if toss doesn't work, then we're just going to scrap it and use TradeStation or TrendSpider. And I think that's the one I want right there. Is that it? Alright, so I think part of the problem is I've got this massive chart right here that is pulling a lot of data. So what you're looking at now is the futures. What's up, Travis? Morning, Chevy. Drop top. Alright, so look, we're looking at futures. ES pretty much choppy overnight. It looks like chop across the board. NQ had a little bit of a pullback, maintained upward trendline support, so it's in a rising channel. The Russell, good job, Russell. Keep going. It broke the opening range high, so we'll keep an eye on the Russell. Gold sold off overnight after it hit the yearly pivot yesterday. Imagine that. Crude seems to be on the rise, so keep an eye on oil and transportation stocks. I'll have to look through my list, but a couple were ready to go. I'll have to look at those again. Bonds are selling off, which is good, which means that the ES should rise, and the yen is giving you a big fat finger. Here, let me show you what I mean by that. Alright, so the yen is like, yo, check this out. We're just going to tell you to. Right? Yeah, that's the yen for you. Alright, so with that being said, just looking at things, this little seahorse shape right here on the YM is concerning to me. Every time I've ever seen that, it's very indicative of larger drop. And by seahorse, this is what I mean. Like this little guy right here. Doesn't look like a little seahorse, right? With little wings. Right? Little wings on it. Anyway. Just personal tinfoil hat time, but that is my opinion on it. Get that a little bit closer. I usually have this set up, and I am slacking today. So, um, the NQ, like I said, it's maintaining its little upward trend line channel that it's created. This isn't going to be the perfect channel, but you can see what I'm talking about here. Let me draw the channel. Right, see, it's got this little channel going on, little channel action. Something like that. So that's a bullish sign. It's just gonna be choppy. So don't get suckered today. I feel like yesterday was a massive rally, and looking at some of the overnight charts, looking at some of the daily charts on some of those stocks that ran, they were just pulling back to the 21-day EMA. So potential break and rip or reject and fall. Very important that we do our due diligence and we look at every chart for itself and just keep an eye on the overall market. Crude is up, ES is chopping, YM is chopping, NQ is chopping like it did yesterday. Gold is down, crude's up, bonds are down. Japan's just giving us the bird. All right, I think that's good for looking at the futures. All right, some of the stocks that I'm interested in. Donut. So Krispy Kreme. I was going to short that this morning. So Krispy Kreme came out with a statement saying that they're going to double their free donut offer for proof of vaccination. Right? A little bit of news, going to make it pop. Right? Can always help. There's some news that came out about NFTs, and I want to read that because Playboy was on my list for this week. I haven't had an opportunity to get into it. Yes, I could have got into it here yesterday, but I was busy doing other things, looking at different stocks. So let me just grab that news here because there's some other news I want to pay attention to as well. Okay. All right. If anybody on the stream has requests, get it to me now. If not, I'm going to run through some stuff that I've got. So important news here: cassava, which has been ripping lately. It fell over 20% after hours after a petition filed earlier yesterday alleged data manipulation. Now, if you the petition asked the FDA to stop their clinical studies of Simufilm, right? Which was like, and then cassava scientists responded to claims that were posted online yesterday after market hours. Believes the claims made in this post regarding scientific integrity are false and misleading. The company stands behind its science, blah, blah, blah. Well, they were down 20% overnight. That's a big drop. Like, let me show you what Sava looked like. This is important. And let me tell you why, because this is an opportunity. Look at that. Fall from grace. Closed yesterday at 117, right? Nice little 100% retrace of a previous high. Currently as low as 79, broke the 618. Yeah, this might be a fun little one to play. However, I mean, my data's not going to load because it's being a POS today. All right. The other thing that I wanted to talk with you about as far as news was, where did it go? Right here. This news, yeah. Make that a little bit bigger. NFT, non-fungible token sales surged in August, according to the biggest platform, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, OpenSea have hit 1.9 billion so far this month. $1 billion in NFTs. All right, I'm gonna build one later today. Basically, what's important is these little smaller cap stocks right here: Funko, Playboy, TCAT, and DLPN. Right? I've heard Funko's name and DLPN around, but Playboy. Now, Playboy came up on my list of having divergence going into this week. It was actually one of my weekly watch list plays, so I'm going to look at that a little bit more in depth as I continue going through. So Riot files to sell more shares. That's going to drop them. Intuit had earnings, and it looks like all right, so they beat on earnings. They may move. Knee. This might be fun. NextEra Energy is asking the U.S. Department of Commerce to either force an anonymous group of U.S. solar panel makers to identify its members or reject the requests. Huh, wonder why. But there's some big news about China. Where did it go? Where did it go? Basically, it's not even gonna. Does it say it here? Oh, important earnings. Let's see. CRM, Snow, SPLK, and Ulta earnings today. Don't get sucked into those. Okay. And is it gonna say it? No. Huh. All right. Well, so everything rose yesterday. Overnight, the Asian markets were flat, right? The Shanghai index rose 25 points. The Hang Seng slipped 33, and the DAX slipped about 25, which means that we probably will be open a little lower this morning. FTSE is up. So, oil edged higher, gold slipped. Now, it's not in here, but basically the news that came out was if China is continued to be accused of starting the virus, they promise retaliation. Now, how can they retaliate? Dropping their stocks, and they're just started recovering. Like, they own, like, think about it. They're a communist country. They own the stocks. Like, even though Baba's Baba, it's still controlled by the government. So, more tin hat stuff for you. Okay. We're going to move into looking at some plays now. I want to just check in on AMC. And just because everybody loves AMC and it's the news of the talk of the town. And after yesterday, it got some people's attention again. I have some shares. From a technical standpoint, it is kind of flat. A little bit of a nice flag forming here. Lack of momentum, lack of conviction. Moving averages are starting to get stacked positive again. It's starting to form a little flag on the 5-minute chart. This 48.29, right? That fib level. I didn't draw that. It's been there forever. I like how they just whipped up and kissed it and then sold right off. So above that, 52.86, right? That's my next little level that I got there. And so just keep an eye on the old AMC. Okay. Riot, I believe, will fall a little bit today since they did announce an offering. And whenever a stock announces offerings, they have a tendency to move down, not up. They move down. All right, so Playboy, this is a 4-hour top. If Playboy can maintain that 4-hour top, I think it can rip a little bit further. Let's see. Riot, that sell-off, that's that news of an offering. Okay, I'm going to check in on the chat. Let's see TSM, Dix, Space, SoFi, Givo, Roblox, thanks. JD. Yeah, so I had a couple options of JD that I didn't realize I had, and those paid rather nicely. All right, so let's check out, let's see, TSM, right, Playboy, Cree, Space, I'm going to short Space, SoFi didn't, SoFi just had earnings, Givo, Givo, what is Givo? Alright, let's jump over to the algorithm. Alright, What you see in front of you is the smart money dark pool and block trade software algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. If this is the first time you've been here, real quick introduction. Yellow is my markup, usually track the algo and positions, support, resistance, trend lines, etc. If you see a blue horizontal line, that is a dark pool trade. If you see a red horizontal line, that is a regular block trade. If you see a white line, it's party time. I always got to make a joke about that. But no, seriously, what that means is that there's a regular block trade and a dark pool block trade within a couple of cents of each other, so that I can't distinguish them and draw two separate lines. So we just draw a white line. Okay. With that being said, let's get these loaded up and get going. It's 15 minutes. Not bad. Not a bad intro. Excuse me. Let's see. What do we got here? I want to look at... Okay. Gotta let these load up. While that loads, I'll get some... TSM... X space and SoFi. All right, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Starting in the upper left corner, we've got TSM. I would imagine it would continue to move just because they are a chip maker and chips seem to be doing things lately. Ha. All right, as far as the algo is concerned, it is trading with price action. I mean, this looks like massive divergence, but it's essentially trading with price action. See how the angle is very similar. Price action is making lower lows. The algo is making lower lows. Maybe a little bit of a reversal sign here, so we will keep an eye on this today for that divergence to occur. Right now, price action is resting right at a regular dark pool, or excuse me, regular block trade level at 112.16. Whoops. Wrong tool. 112.16. That came in yesterday. Other recent block trades, one came in on the 23rd at 110.15, right? So gap and pullback. It's still, the angle of descent is very familiar here. So we just got to keep an eye on that. I don't see any dark pool levels, which is interesting, but sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. As far as support goes, obviously this is going to be the target level, right? Previous lows, fade, sell off, pop. So there's something that's happening at this level that is stopping price action from getting through it. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if that's a psychological level or what, but it's once rejected, twice rejected. So if this algo continues up, price action may continue to move to the upside. Contrarian, if it does fade and sell off, there's this little gap down here that's got to be filled. That 111.57 block, I doubt it's going to really cause anything because price interacted with it here, right? This all may have been absorbed, but it is still, it's a psychological level. So maybe support there, that would fill the gap. It's a tough one. Let's see what the chart has to say. No, come on, don't do that to me. I know this chart. Oh wow. Excuse me. Y'all didn't need to hear that. Well, all right. Well, the overnight action just made a liar of me. Okay, so I would assume the algo is going to rip around 115.75. Yeah, so we finally broke above previous lows. Then the play is pretty simple. You want to look for pullback to support, right? That support is going to line up nicely with our fib channels, right? By open, we could pull back to the 21 EMA at 114, right? Well, by the time open comes around, 114.89, I would look for support. below that, we've got the rising 34. If we have to use a fib level, 114.25, or is possibly, I don't think we'd hit the 382 because this blue line is a 50-day or 50-period SMA, and it is rising, so it's going to rise up to meet. So maybe the 50% retracement. Yeah, so I would look for a nice pullback and then a continuation to the upside. Good calls. We've got stack positive moving averages. I don't have the right chart up over here. Let me see if I can switch the workspace to something that we're all used to. Wow, it's really bright, isn't it? You can give me my chart back. Hate fighting with this thing. There we go. All right. TSM. Yeah, I agree with the assessment. So we have a squeeze that just is starting. This would need to bounce up. This would need to swing back around. The daily would need to swing back around. Looks like we pulled up to... Yeah, we reverted to the mean, which is the 21 EMA. Waiting, I'm anticipating this 50 to bounce off of this 200. And if we can get above this 127 at 116.73, right? If we can get up into this area here, I believe I will call this recovered on an uptrend, going to take out previous highs all the way up into 3 ATR. So 122 possible target. Contrarian, if we reject off of this level and come back down, we do have the 200 SMA support at 110, the 50 at 113, and VWAP's right there too. So let's call that support. Right. We'll just call it support for now. All right, that was TSM. I'm gonna get it moving a little bit faster. Dix. Well, obviously bearish divergence. This is pretty significant divergence. I like this for to the downside, and let me show you why. The algo is diverged, obviously. You can see the divergence occurred here, here, and here, basically. The algo is pretty much net selling. I don't know if they had earnings or not. We had... This is super tight trend line, like... I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw it, but... So it's either right at support right now, or it broke through it. I'll have to look at it on the chart, but if it broke through it, then I would look to play this to the downside. We have dark pool levels coming in at 106.94 and 107.12, right? That's a nice little trampoline area. Base of support would be really close to divergence playing out. Looking at Dix on the chart here. Again, that's going to make a liar of me. What the heck? Maybe I should start looking at the chart and then look at the algo. So, did they have earnings? Is that what happened? OnlyFans drops plan. Sorry, I just saw some news come through. So OnlyFans decided against dropping or against banning porn. Oh, that was a head fake if I've ever seen one. So what's going on here? No, for real though, what's going on with Dix? Did it have earnings? Ah, earnings. You guys got me with the earnings play again. Who brought this up? Chevy drop top. So, well, it had earnings, and it must have beat from earnings. and trying to catch a rocket ship. With the algo selling and a beat on earnings, super high volatility is into play. There's an opportunity to grab. So one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to be a peg stock, right? Which a good example of a peg stock would be like Low, right? Low is a good example of a peg stock, right? Massive blowout on earnings and it just kept running, right? A very similar pattern, you see. However, that can't last forever and it's pulled back to a double bottom. This may be, Low may be a good one to look into. Also, hold on, where's my notes? Notes. Okay, so see how it ran for a couple days after. So Dix may be the same thing, but the IV is going to be massive. I know we played it in the room, and we played Low in the room for a pretty penny. So you have an opportunity to do that. It's taken out all the stops. These two wicks are stop killers. So whoever's in this is in it now. Like it could drop it, it could just drop right now. And anybody that was chasing this, their stops are gone just because of these two wicks right here. Right, those two wicks right there killed all the stops. Yeah, it's just running on momentum right now. Good earnings. You saw what the algo is doing, right? The algo is like, oh hey, we're gonna start selling, right? We're gonna start selling. We're gonna drop in some, we're gonna start selling. So yeah, careful with it. I like to play earnings in a different way. Okay, moving on. Space. Not gonna get me this time. I'm gonna check out the chart first, and then go look at the algo. So this is a highly shorted meme stock. It's got a little cup and handle forming on the daily. About to get a daily crossover on the MACD, right? We would need this squeeze to kind of show a reversal candle for the next day or two. This is, I think it may, it's strong uptrend. VWAP's at 26.49. It's got a little room to the mean, which is a low at 28.54. So we got two lows right there, right? And that just so happens to line up with the mean. Wherever that is. Right, so 28.63, that's a $2 move. That should be some pretty decent money. Yeah, I don't see any reason why it shouldn't move up there, especially if this MACD crosses over on the daily. We've got bullish divergence on the MACD here. All right, see how MACD is decreasing while, is that bullish divergence or bearish? I'll have to double check. All right, let's check out what the algo says. All right, the algo with space, just trading with price action, a little bit of consolidation. Like I said, that move to fill the gap is a very real possibility. There's no block trades coming in to help us out, which is rare for, well, actually, I've noticed that high short interest meme stocks have very little block trades sometimes. It's interesting. So potential cup and handle, I like run to the gap fill. The algo is just trading with price action. Okay. I may play space too. I like the options on that. So space, I've got space and low as the two I'm interested in right now. TSM, just make sure they're not an earnings play too. Yeah, they're not an earnings play. TSM's got room to 140. No, it already made the move. All right, let's see. What was next? SoFi. SoFi's interesting. So immediately I see some major gaps that need to be filled. Cup and handle forming. The algos made a nice little cup and handle here. Massive regular block trade base. Algo's trading with price action in a bullish direction. I don't know if SoFi is another one of those meme stocks. I like this direction, right? I like how the algo is moving. We have a ton of block trades that are going to be support. We had one yesterday come in at 1480. That's the most recent, and that's going to be support. We had one earlier in the day at 1448. So if we break down from 1480, look for stopping at 1448 for maybe a continuation to the upside. Below that, we have a trampoline. Like, look at this. Oh, come on, give me the right tool here. There we go. We have a trampoline with a white top. Got that white top trampoline. Yo. Got that white top trampoline. Yo. I'm going to be a rapper one day. No, I'm just kidding. So, we have a regular and dark level right there. So, this is a trampoline. If it comes down, I fully expect to bounce off of it. What I'm really interested in is this massive gap that needs to be filled. All right, look at that. Massive gap on SoFi. All right, so checking out SoFi. Oh, watch. Let me find out they had earnings. Okay. So nice little bounce off the weekly bottom. This is super wicky. Wow. Oh, are those penny increments? Are you serious? All right, well, it moves in penny increments. It's above, looks like it's above the 4-hour cloud right now, right? So above the 4-hour, reversion to the mean at 1550. Yeah, I see it move to 1550, and then we make a decision if we reject and continue to the downside. Yeah, this is all consolidation here. So I like this move to previous ish. So previous high there. Looking for like the MACD crossover. Little, I mean, obviously this is a flag. I don't think I need to draw flags for you guys. Little spaghetti squeeze going on. So 50 21 50 SMA 21 EMA squeeze, those are usually pretty good. Something will pop out one side or the other. With the VWAP right below it at 1478, I do like this popping out to the long side. For me to be interested, I'm really going to need to see it get above this wickadoodle little supply zone that it's having some issues with. That goes from about yeah, it's a big supply zone. Maybe I drew it a little too big, but yeah, I would like to see a break of pre-market highs. So 1494 continue to go long. Okay, moving on. DNN and BBG. All right, DNN. Make sure they don't have earnings. Okay, so the Algo has a really hard time with penny stocks. Sometimes it won't even show because the liquidity. Divergence played out, divergence played out, divergence played out. Algo trading with price action. So we have a regular block trade at 105. That's support. The Algo is trading with price action. This is a penny stock. Just be careful with penny stocks. I don't even know if I can draw on it. There we go. So regular block trade, 105. Inside the 4-hour Keltner channel at the weekly, or excuse me, the monthly and daily mid. So that's massive support. All right, this looks like a one. All right, so this is the 3-bar play potential setting up from a candlestick pattern perspective. Whenever you have 2 bars and then a pullback bar, usually you can anticipate a continuation move to the upside. We are in the monthly cloud, daily mid, 4 hour, just inside the 4 hour. If we can, for me to be interested, we would need to clear 112, right? A break of 112, and then we go take out previous highs at 117. If we can get above 121, excuse me, 122, you got moved to the weekly top at 139. Contrarian, if we reject and maintain this little weird downtrend that it's in, look for a pullback to 98 cents, possibly 96. So that is DNN. Yeah. I got you, Lazario. Yeah, I should do that. All right, I can't do a bunch of penny stocks, Covis. But I'll just run through it real quickly. So Givo is, it ran into the daily top. It's consolidating, right? It's currently above the 34. Looks like there's a squeeze that's going to be released, right? MACD's positive, right? MACD's positive and everything's positive and increasing on that. Really, to get a good sense for this, look for a rejection at 623, right? Which is this daily top. If it can get through 645, you've got the weekly mid right above it. So from 609 to 655 is going to be a rough move for it, but if it can pop above 655, then we'll hit 780 and 840. Okay. All right. SDC, JD Roblox. JD, where's Lazaro? All right, Airbnb, Donkey Kong, and Chewy. Thanks, bud. I love Airbnb. That stock has been so good to me. Airbnb, DKNG, and Chewy. Okay. And then JD. I'll look at JD real quick. You guys see a pattern here with these top two, Donkey Kong and DraftKings? I know it's DraftKings. All right, looking at DraftKings, we broke above the daily top. We've got room, so we moved $2 a day. I like the $60 level. It's a weekly top, possibly 61. Look for a pullback though. I hate to say it, but we may need to pull back to some of these lows just to get support off the daily top, right? Yeah, I think that we may pull back to 55 or 56 and then move up. So 56 even though, so the algo's trading with price action, right? Price action needs a pullback for support off the daily cloud, then a continuation to the upside. The other side of that is if we just rip through 57, then we eat, like we go chunky 58, 59. I like this pullback option better. This feels pretty overextended. I mean, all right, so I mean, we're trading at 3 ATR. We've got positive histogram. Squeeze has not released yet. Looking for a MACD crossover. We did get a bounce, MACD bounce. Stack positive moving averages. VWAP is at 5650, rising 50 SMA, rising 200 SMA. Yeah, we're just being squeezed to share right now. Like, if it can get itself out of this range, right? If it can get itself out of that range, what? Come on. Oh, it's not going to let me create an alert. So yeah, break at 56, then we can continue to the upside, right? There should be 57. Break at 57, then yeah, we chunk to 58 and 59. Rejection, we come back down and test 55, 50. Okay. Airbnb, massive rip yesterday. We got some newly formed block trades that came in at 160.95 and 161.30. That's our new support. Okay, 160.95, 161.30. I would look for that to become support for Airbnb. Come on, draw the dang line. All right, that's that level there. I know Airbnb doesn't have earnings because I've played it pretty much every day for the last 2 weeks. Is it ripping again this morning? All right, looks like a little bit of a sell-off overnight. We do have the daily support at 157.09. I would like it to come back and test that, or close to it, 157.50, because then we've got support for the next move to the upside. About a $5 ATR. Weekly top at 170 is the target. Right, we're trading way above the mean. But we've got a slingshot squeeze getting ready to fire. We're getting ready to MACD golden cross back over. I don't like how the 50 got above the 34 and the 21 though. I don't like that at all. And with VWAP above us, yeah, let me see where we're going to pull back to if we pull back. So if we were to pull back as low as 152, yeah, this may be a 156, 154, 152 play, rising 200, 50 above us. It's due for a pullback. Dang it. So we do have that ceiling. So the ceiling's at one. Yeah, let's do this. That's our ceiling right there. And this is our support right here. I'm going to go ahead and create an alert. Breakthrough, touch, bounce. All right, that alert's created. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm looking there. All right, real quick, I've got JD. So the Algo is trading. The Algo is selling. JD is increasing. It's formed some new regular block trade levels that it back tested for support. One came in at 73. Come on. One came in at 73.90, and then right below that one came in at 71.50. It did make a massive gap that's going to have to be filled at some point right there. The Algo is diverged to the downside, so potential selling pressure from the Algo. I don't like the trendline support. This just looks like a it's not a rising wedge, but this looks bearish to me. JD. Just looking at the chart real quick, and then I'll get to Tesla. So it's cloud riding right now. So the daily cloud, like I said, if we pull back to the 4-hour or even the monthly mid at 69.70 ish. All right. So if we break 76, this thing could rip up to 82 with resistance at 78 and 80. If we fail, right, and we come back down and we break through the weekly mid at 73.25, look for a back test of 74 for continued move down to the 4-hour Keltner channel at 71.25 ish. If we get below all, I mean, this is a big support area here. Like, this is pretty. That's pretty significant support. We've got the daily mid, monthly mid, 4-hour top. So this is a good area of support. I would like it to come back and test this. Then we have a little bit of consolidation, breathing room for a real nice long run to the upside. Right now it looks pretty gassy. Big gap down here to fill. Okay, Tesla. And then I got to run. I need to get some water. For some reason my throat's really dry today. I know Tesla didn't have earnings, so we don't have to check for earnings on Tesla. Alright, so Tesla. The algo is consolidating while it's essentially just trading with price action. We have a dark pool level that came in yesterday at 709.10. Support resistance there. Right? If we can get above it and use it as support, that would be great. It's currently forming a little bit of a flag. It came up and it filled the gap that it had to fill, right? It filled this gap right here, but it looks like it's forming just kind of a... Seriously? You're not gonna let me do angles? Lame. Well, I can't do angled drawings right now. We have a regular block trade below that at 72.85, and then we've got a little bit of a cluster of dark pool levels, 676 to 680. Right, so regular block trade level, dark pool clusters here. So that's our support and resistance. The algo is trading with price action, or well, the divert. All right, so the bullish divergence is played out. It's trading with price action. It needs to curl up and around to really signify a move. The algo has got to break its overhead resistance, right? The algo is formed. Oh, cool. The algo's formed a bull flag. So break below. Look for this kind of a move down here. So that was Tesla, Donkey Kong, Chewy, Airbnb, Salesforce, Snowflake, Swan. Yes. Okay. All right, that's it for me. I got to run. I got to get some positions managed. Thanks for joining me. Once again, my name is Darkpool Algo. I'm here every morning, Monday through Friday, an hour before the open. If you have any requests, comments, suggestions, make sure you hit me up in the comment section below. And while you're there, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll see y'all tomorrow. If you have any requests throughout the day,